Hi there, I'm Kama the Eccentric Diva. Welcome to my side of the internet. I talk about sex education, book publishing tips, and every other thing in between. If this is your first time joining, please hit the subscribe button. And if you're a return subscriber, thank you very much for watching. And I hope your publishing journey has been going great. Like the title says, in this video, I'll be sharing with you 10 tips on how to write your first drafts. So stay tuned. As an author that has written over 5 books and counting, okay, some of them are actually novellas and some of them are full-length novels and some of them are short stories. But yes, even for a short story, it can be very scary to some of us out there. You know I get scared, especially when I'm to write a short story compared to when I'm to write a full-length novel, because I know I can dilly-dally and all that, before finalizing that, okay, I'm going to write the story. But a short story can actually be more daring and daunting than a full-length novel. So here are my 10 tips that have worked for me and I know works for other authors as well. So here we go. You have to figure out a story idea. Figure out the story idea, settle on that story idea. Every idea that comes to your brain actually makes sense when it comes to story writing, but not everything would make sense when you start writing it. So you have to pick a story idea, think of the characters, think of where the story is being set, like the setting, then the plotting and the pacing of the story. Think of those 4 things once you get the story idea, like, oh, a girl is riding a bicycle. What about the girl is special? What to make readers want to keep reading about the girl riding a bicycle? Would the girl fall off the bicycle? Is someone else in the environment watching her ride the bicycle? Just think, and then settle for the story idea, because this alone is a topic that we can go on and on about. Settling for a story idea and figuring out the story idea. So that's one thing you need to do. So once you settle for this story idea, you block off every other idea that comes into you, because personally telling you, as a writer, it can really get really scary, because once you're writing a story and you're like, oh geez, I can't think anymore. This new idea is actually great. Let's scrap all of this. Next thing you want to do is to figure out the time of the day, or how many hours you want to spend writing daily. As a writer, or being a writer, it is not easy. You have to be consistent. You have to be very, very routine-like. For people that don't like routines, you have to find a way to make sure that you write every day. So if you don't like routine, you can do that. Well, I just write 2 hours a day. So it could be in the morning, evening, afternoon, night, whatever time. But for those that love routine, Nora Roberts says routine is like a god. She writes like from 8 a.m. till 3 p.m. every friggin' day, even while she's on vacation. So if you want to be that strict and rigid, you can do that. Some people write from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. So make sure you set aside daily time to write that first draft. It is hard, I know, but you can do it. Next thing you want to do is to make a schedule. This schedule, for those that are plotters, I am a plotter. I love knowing what my story is going to be like, the journey my characters are going through, where they will be. I like creating an outline before I even start writing the story, even if the story is gushing into my brain and flooding from all sides. I like plotting the story first before I delve into it, because I know myself from past experience. I have like 3 or 4 drafts. Thank God I even got to the first draft, but I couldn't continue because I have the vision for the story. I had lost it. So either you plot the story, or if you're one that doesn't plot stories, maybe you're a pantser. Is it a pantser or a prancer or a planter? Yeah, if you're one that doesn't plot stories, make sure you tell yourself, okay, I want to write a 60,000 word novel or a 120,000 word novel. how many words can I write in a day, divide the number of what they call it, divide the number of total words you want to write by the hours you want to spend writing. And if you're dividing by the hour you want to spend writing, okay, for 1 hour that I sit down to write, I write 8,000 words. So if I want to write 120,000 worded novel as a first draft, I have to write for 120 days non-stop, 1,000 words, 1 hour a day. Or I can do 3 hours a day, that's 3,000 words per day for 40 days. Boom, and I have my first draft. The beautiful thing about first draft is that once your first draft is complete, you can decide to make it thicker or you can decide to make it thinner. Then your editor might decide to make it any way they think it should go. But yes, that's the beauty about making schedules and making plans. So if you're a plotter, make sure you plot and outline your story. If you're a pantser, make sure you set a target, a word target or day target, set a deadline that you have to make. Make sure you make a schedule. Of course, we have the story ideas. Some of them are personal experiences. If you're writing non-fiction, they might be so dear to you and so close to your heart. But first, you don't know everything. There are some experiences that you've even had that you need to, check if your experience is the same with what other people have experienced as well too when they were in that particular situation. So you need to carry out basic research, just basic research. If you're writing stories, fictional stories that are almost similar to real life experiences or based on real life experiences, do your basic research, ask questions. Google is your friend. Let Google be your bestie, or Binge, or whatever network you make use of. Let it be your bestie. Read newspapers, check columns, go through Instagram, all that research. Yeah, social media research too is also part of this basic research, because the next tip is going to tell you what you should be doing while you're writing. Turn off the internet. Now you're ready to write. You want to write this first draft within 40 days, 3,000 words per day, so you can get 120,000 words by the 40th day. You need to turn off your internet or set your mobile device and computer to airplane mode, because I tell you personally, it's a struggle for me as well too. I know. But you need to get yourself off the normal world. Don't bother yourself about what is happening in the world. Things will always happen, good, bad, ugly. So just take yourself off the internet for the time being. If possible, set your phone to silent mode, turn it off to airplane. Don't pick phone calls and all that. Or what I do personally is that I turn off my sound and I set my phone to do not disturb. I set my phone to focus as well too. I have these options on my Samsung that tells me, oh, it's time to focus. Then on my Windows 10 as well too, there's this icon where I click focus. So you just hit that, it blocks all your notifications, and any message that someone wants to send to you doesn't come in. The only thing that comes in are phone calls. And this day and time, people don't really call anymore. They only call on social media apps. So if it's that important, they'll call you normally. So the only calls you receive, if they are that urgent and emergency enough or emergent enough, oh, that's serious. But yeah, if it's an emergency, people will call. If not, they'll wait until you're done for your 3 hours, 4 hours, 7 hours you want to use in writing this first draft. So turn off the internet, or wait until you're done watching this video before you turn off the internet. The next thing you're going to do is to write on paper. For me, that works. For some people, they prefer writing on their screen. But yeah, writing on paper really works because your thoughts kind of flows to your arms and all that, and you can get all your scribblings and drafting and all that. So draft your first outline. Your outline could be from how many thousand words to what thousand words you're writing. So draft it all on paper first. So you could use your screen or you could use paper and pen. Just write out all the basic ideas, the journey you want your characters to go through, where you want them to be, how you want them to look. Get all those things down on pen and paper, or use your screen to write it when you've turned off the internet and shut down everywhere. And while you are at it, Do not edit. I repeat, do not edit anything. Just let it flow. So if you're writing, she was going to the market, and like, no. She was not going to the market, she was going to school. Don't scribble of the she was going to the market. Just write she was going to the market. Maybe she was going to the school. Just let your thoughts just be there on paper or on the screen. Don't be tempted to hit backspace or delete or start editing. Just let it flow. Let it be messy. That's the whole idea of a first draft, for you to see your thoughts face up. Because if you keep doing that, you will be stuck, which will lead us to the next point or tip, which is don't look at any reference. So at some point when you're writing, you might get the idea, like I said, oh, and then she decided to go somewhere else or whatever, and you want to confirm, like, oh, is it true Bill Cosby actually went to the studio instead of him going to the cinema? You'll be tempted to turn on your internet and search, and before you know, you're just browsing all through, like, wow, he has 4 sons and he had a cat. Oh my god, the cat got eaten by a rat, and the rat, oh my god. You just get lost in your research. Like, that is what most writers spend their days doing sometimes if they're not, strict on themselves. That's what I do. True confession. But yeah, if you really want to get that word on paper, if you really want to get it out there at the time you want it out there, ensure that you do not look up any reference. Just, either if you're using Microsoft Word or Google Docs or whatever software you're using, Scrivener, whatever, just highlight it or make a comment or put a word that you go back to use and check it. Maybe WPK, KQI. So anywhere you're going to, you need to reference and fact check or or whatever. Just put something that you can just, click on Control Find. That's after you're done, and you're like, okay, I need to confirm this. You get my drift? Yeah. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it, but yes, don't edit it. Don't edit. Don't edit. Don't edit. Don't edit. Sing it. Don't edit. That's it. Don't edit. Oh, don't edit. Don't edit. Don't edit anything. Just let it flow. I know, right? Yeah, I know. But don't edit anything. Just let it flow. Let it go. Let it go. Just write to your heart content. And once you're done, you find out that you have your first draft after 40 days of sticking to this rigorous exercises I've told you. And in case you're thinking of what is number 10, I've mentioned it. Just write. Write from your heart, write with passion, write with everything you've got, write with your vision in view, write with the deadline in mind, write like nobody would read your book, write like everybody in the world would want to read that book. Just write. It doesn't matter if it's going to be read. Write like nobody will read it, because it's going to be personal and dear to your heart, like like you're writing a journal. Then and only then, after you've written it like nobody would read it, edit it like the world is going to look at it. Thank you very much for watching my videos. I have other videos and how-tos and tips on how to be a better writer, how to publish better, how to market and sell your book better. I am the author of over 5 books. That's when I'm making this video. Yeah, I'm so happy and I'm so proud that I get to share my experience and journey with you. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button, share with a friend, comment below if you have anything you want to learn or questions you want to ask about the publishing journey and writing process. Feel free to ask and I'll make sure I answer to my very best of knowledge. Thank you very much. I remain calm at your side to deliver happy writing, happy publishing, and most of all, happy reading. Yeah.